my time and serve my sentence. Dress me up and watch me die. If it feels good, tastes good, it must be mine. Dynasty decapitated, you just might see a ghost tonight. And if you don't know now, you know. I'm taking back the crown. I'm all dressed up and naked. I see what's mine and take it.
All right, you hear the music, you already know the demon has been summoned. Demon Phil here with hell of a show, and we're going to have a great time here tonight. This is kind of panel style. We're going to be doing this, and it's kind of a special show because of the holiday spirit that we're going to have in this. As you can tell by the background that I have up here right now, sometimes the holidays are not quite as bright as they can be at times. Sometimes there's a little bit of darkness to it as well, and we're going to kind of delve into that tonight, which I'm looking forward to. But at the same time, I need y'all to go ahead and do me a favor out there right now that are watching. Go ahead and go over there, hit that share button, and let's get this thing shared out. Share it out on the different platforms that are out there. Let everybody know what's going on over here on YouTube. And if you're watching on Twitter, I thank you as well, and get that shared out over there. And let's go ahead and get some more people in here and get them involved. And we've already got somebody in here waiting. That would be Brian Silverbacks there with the giving me the evil eye. I can already tell. That's not even just an animated eye there. That's the evil eye right there. So he'll be watching us. This ought to get interesting in the comments. I'll be looking forward to this. But I thank everyone for being here and for being here for the show and enjoying what we've been doing so far with all the content we've had up here. Tonight is the night where we're going to ring in the holiday season. Everyone who knows me knows my favorite holiday is Halloween, above and beyond. But whenever it comes to Christmas, there is a way to enjoy this, but still enjoy the holiday spirit that goes with it. Or should I say holiday spirits that go with it. So in that being said, let's go ahead and start introducing some of our guests up here. We have got some guests from a couple of projects. So get ready for this, buckle up and keep your arms and legs inside the vehicle at all times. We're getting started right now. We're starting off with Humbug Travis.
Hello.
I tried not to laugh whenever I brought you up here, but come on, man. That's just
humbug.
So, we can't have Humbug Travis without having, this is going to be fun tonight. Holiday J is here.
Hey, man. How are you?
I appreciate you being here. And then, what's Holiday J and Humbug Travis if you don't round that out without Matt Krampus Knowles?
What's going on, everybody? How you doing out there?
And as if this weren't a 2 a.m. infomercial, I'm going to go ahead and say it because I love saying this sometimes on here. But wait, there's more, because we have another one that's involved in this too. We have David Byrne is here. He doesn't have a fancy name on here, but his name alone should send shivers, through your body whenever you hear that on there. So here is David Byrne as well.
Yes, I'm just boring old David.
Not boring at all. And Sarah Nell is here. Thank you for Sarah for being here. We've got some people showing up still in the comments, which is excellent. I mean, we're going to have a great time on here tonight. We're going to have some fun. We're going to start round robin on this one. I'm going to let each of y'all go ahead and let us know kind of elevator pitch style, who you are, what you do, where to find you. We're going to start off with Humbug Travis, and we'll round all around to David Byrne. So, Humbug, take it away.
So who I am and where to find me?
Yes.
Okay. I'm Travis Gibb, and you can find me at travisgibb.substack.com or orangeconeproductions.com, primarily.
Excellent. And Holiday J?
I'm Jerome Gagnon. I'm letterer. I'm working with Travis on every book, I guess.
Every book known to man.
Exactly.
You can find me on Twitter at jboy495. That's and on Facebook at Jerome Gagnon, but that may be harder to find.
Nice. And Krampus, go ahead. Let us know.
Hey, what's going on? Matt Knowles. I am one half of Insymmetry Creations. You can find me at Dr. Anguish on Twitter and Instagram, but more than likely you want to go to insymmetrycreations.com or /Insym on Facebook or at Insym Creations on Twitter.
Excellent. And David Byrne, what about you?
You can find me at Dab282 basically everywhere. I changed my name so you can see it and there's no confusion. Or my website, davidaburn.com.
Nice. Well, you made it easy for everyone. There's not like a whole bunch of different variations of it everywhere.
Nope, make it simple.
And that's the way to do it right there. Now, before we get started into everything, I want to go ahead and kind of highlight Humbug on this real quickly. Whenever we came on to here, he went ahead and let me know that he was not quite as animated as usual because he's been working today. Now, a lot of people were like, okay, he's always working. He's always online. He's always doing work with books and everything. This is different. I really want to highlight because I'm actually showing some great respect for what he's doing on this. He was actually helping with the handing out of turkeys to people who actually needed those out there. So, Travis, I certainly appreciate you doing that. Why don't you go ahead and let them know kind of quickly what you were working on there so they can get an understanding of what you did and something that they have an idea of what they could help out with too.
Yeah, we partnered with the Martinez Law Firm. He's a local lawyer. In fact, he wrote a comic book with me recently called No Contest that we're going to get tomorrow. So those will be shipping out soon. But what he did is he gave out 150 turkeys to the community. But let's even talk about that's what's known to the public, 150 communities. And what's different than this and everybody else, it was a live pop-up. So it was like, hey, we have turkeys, come get them. It wasn't fill this out. Let's figure out your financial status, all that stuff. It's just come and get your turkeys. But the other thing that he did, he helped my wife. My wife works for Brevard Cares, which is a local agency for child welfare.
Mm-hmm.
And we got 40 of those turkeys directly to families that were in crisis that would need those turkeys, which is really cool. And that was an additional stuff that we didn't even talk about. They didn't promote about that, but that was a sub thing that we got those turkeys directly to people who in need in Brevard County who are going through a crisis with the Department of Child Welfare, which I think is really, really awesome that we get to do that. And it's been a great day, but I've been all day on lives shucking turkeys, selling turkeys. In fact, Jay thinks that we could do it as a stretch goal, me sending out turkeys to people. I'm not sure how that would work, but he thinks it would work.
There you go. I mean,
You need to let him fulfill that part.
Yeah, you got to fulfill that.
There you go. That's a fair deal. I think that'd be fair trade right there. No, that is awesome. I just wanted to kind of showcase that very quickly, let everyone know that Travis is not only just online all the time or working on books all the time, but he is also doing things for the community as well, which I think is just awesome. I just mad respect for you on that one.
Thank you.
Now, moving forward on this, we're talking about a couple of the campaigns we got here because represented between all of the people that I've got here right now are two campaigns that are running currently on here. Two campaigns that are a lot of fun, very interesting, one of which deals directly with the holidays, one of which is, well, if you don't like it, you can hit the button and get yourself canceled. I mean, it's just really simple. It's some interesting things that are going on. One's an anthology. One is a regular story that's on there. I want to go ahead and start with David on this one. We're going to talk about Cancel a little bit. This is issue 2 that you've got on Backer Kit that you're running right now. With issue 1, what is the storyline, the premise that we've seen so far with Canceled? Go ahead and let us know on that.
So it's basically a 1950s Mr. Rogers type gets his show canceled and replaced with a clown. He gets drunk, goes to the local TV antenna and tries to destroy it, but instead gets electrocuted and sucked into the airwaves, where he proceeds to infiltrate the televisions of the local children and tell them to kill their parents as the clown. So it then progresses forward through the decades, so we know that he's still in the airwaves. And in the new one, we pick up with a specific time frame. It's set at Y2K, where he's going to attempt to influence one particular person.
Interesting. Very interesting. Now, what made it where you decided to go with the Mr. Robinson personality to start off with all of this?
Honestly, I just thought it would be an interesting little premise for a short story we were going to submit to an anthology. And as the art came in, it was so good, I expanded it. And Black Caravan was like, I showed him a couple Joe at Black Caravan a couple pages. He said, get this over 20 pages and we'll publish it as soon as it's done. So I was like, all right, well, I guess I need to do a little more writing.
Nice. Now, this is not your only title that you work on as well. This is just one of them that's on there. This is coming off of the success that you had off of a title called State, correct?
Correct. Yep.
Now, these aren't tied in on the universes either, correct?
Oh, not at all. No.
Okay. So with you running the second one on here and trying to get the foundation going for this, and you're on BackerKit. Of course, that's a new platform that's in its beta format and everything over there. How is that going? What have you learned from BackerKit, the platform over there, the way that it's set up so far?
I think what a lot of us saw when we were looking at platforms like Zoop and some of the other ones, that the backers aren't going over as well. So the platforms themselves are very nice. They're put together well. There are some things I actually like better about the BackerKit platform, but ultimately it all comes down to funding. And so far it's been a lot harder to get eyes on it and get people to come over than any of the Kickstarter campaigns. And one of the biggest things is honestly the discoverability, because you have so many people on Kickstarter at all times and so many campaigns. Right now, there's only 2 comic campaigns on BackerKit, and one of them is from Iron Circus, and she's huge, but they're not the same at all as what I'm doing, so it's not much crossover even.
Yeah, the genre is definitely different on that, so it doesn't actually keep up with yours and get the foot traffic that it would for that. So you're actually looking at more of a the market viewership is not showing up as much on BackerKit as it is on Kickstarter because of the foundation, correct?
Correct. And I can see some of the direct work that I've done, because actually like 30 to 40% of the backers were not previous backers. They're people who came in because of the series canceled and finding out that we were doing more. So that's good to know. But at this instance, that's not really, it's not enough we're not funded. So we're at 64%. We're on pace. We have time. But it's a little different for me, as the guys in this room know. I usually fund on day one, so it's a bit of an adjustment.
But it is. I mean, it's sometimes you have to take a step off into a different direction just to see if there's going to be different traction somewhere else. Because not only to somewhere to change, to just pack up everything you got on one platform and move, but to actually have different eyes. Like you've got these circles that are over on Kickstarter, so you want to make sure you want transfer over here and give them a chance to have some new eyes on some things and try to get some projects going. And it seems like that's what you were trying to do with this, and you may have actually accomplished doing that, but it's not at the level that Kickstarter would have been showing you with some of the other projects on there.
For sure. And I went in eyes wide open. I was fully aware that there was a potential we could fail. And, it's okay to fail. So if we do, then we'll take a couple days and we'll figure out the next step. But I think right now we are on pace to actually fund, and I'm looking forward to it. I love how this book is turning out. Covers are great. The artists are great. So we'll
actually, if you fail, you're gonna be the most book on brand to fail. You'll be canceled.
Yeah. Well, I figured like the day left, I'll just cancel the campaign. And be like, that was all a joke to begin with.
I think that would be great. You run a whole gambit. You then go to Indiegogo with a higher goal, cancel halfway through, and just keep canceling yourself on all these platforms.
Canceled on every crowdfunding platform in history.
You want this book? You can't have it because it's been canceled.
That'll show them.
Even going to print it and just not give it to anybody.
And then you publish it through Bad ID.
That would be a bad idea strategy.
That is definitely, unfortunately, other people have tried this, just not with that name of the book. Didn't work out so well for them, but no, I mean, you've had great projects, before and everything, and you can definitely see where I just showed some of the artwork that's in there, really draws you in. The storyline sounds like it's definitely a hook to get people involved in there. It's just a matter of getting more eyes on the platform itself to try to get some traction over there. Do you think that maybe if you had some more time, like with a pre-campaign, to kind of get people to move over there before you actually launch next time, would that actually give you a little more traction?
I don't know. We had hundreds of people watching and hit the notify me button. So, I mean, it was pretty much on par with what we had from Kickstarter campaigns. So we had a fairly decent initial launch day. But I don't know. I've heard nothing from anyone saying that they won't come. But it's, the proof is in the pudding. So
So what's next on your plate after this campaign is complete? What's next do you have that's available? I would assume probably coming out next year, correct?
Yeah, we have. We're about to fulfill the Stake Presents Jessamy #3.
Mm-hmm.
So as soon as Francesca is finished with the art on that, she'll be going straight into Stake Volume 2. So we'll be working on that. In the meantime, we may put out a trade for Jessamy while she's drawing, because they're going to be oversized issues, 40 plus pages, and she draws a little slow sometimes, but she's very detailed and her artwork just keeps getting better. I think it's because she keeps putting more time into it, and she's a perfectionist. She's overdoing every page, but it looks so good.
Oh yeah, I mean it's I've seen it. I've got some of the other copies that have come out as well, and it's definitely worth the wait. So I'm one of those that's sitting over here. Like as soon as you mentioned that it was in the process, I was like, oh yeah. But I mean, you've got some great products that are out there, some great things, and this is another one that's like that too. Do you see that maybe changing with some different and mixing it up with some different platforms might actually change up some things on there?
I don't know. I really don't know. I won't be able to fully digest until the campaign's over on this one.
Right.
So, Kickstarter, we all expect to have that surge at the end. I don't know if we're even going to get that on this campaign. I just don't know how the platform is going to work. The notifications, I guess, basically will come down to me sending out from the launch option.
Mm-hmm.
So I will obviously be doing those at 20 or 48, 24 hours, things like that. But
Right.
there's a big difference if if you have the Kickstarter app, or if you're following people on Kickstarter, you get notified when they back something.
Mm-hmm.
No one's getting notified. I don't get notified when someone backs the campaign. I have to
Yeah.
go refresh. So
Yeah.
it's a lot harder for the discovery purposes.
Okay. Because I would like to actually in the future. I've got a plan to get someone from the different platforms, a representative of each one of them, and have them up here in panel style and have a show. And we're going to talk about what makes theirs unique, going across each one. I think that would kind of be an interesting show to have, to show different perspectives on what's out there for the different platforms, because what works for this person may not work for this person, and so on and so forth. It would give them the options to roll around. Plus, like I was saying earlier, if you actually have different circles that are out there with more eyes available, it's still good to have that, but you still want to get that that foundation, platform, the one that'll give you the best running on there, and then be able to move from there as well, which you've already got. Kickstarter does well for you, so this will give you something else to kind of look at in the future, something different to run to, and maybe you might hit gold with one of these other ones that's available.
Yeah, I think the platform has a lot of potential. For creators, it's beneficial because you're basically wrapping. A lot of us use BackerKit already, so
Mm-hmm.
you're wrapping everything into one where you don't have to go do these separate things where you're setting up the surveys afterward by importing them. Everything's already there. It's already part of it. The launch is part of it. So you get the email service and all of that fun stuff. So it's just going to be a matter of it's the beta. It's early. They're not. It's not open. So if everyone in this room wanted to run a campaign right now, that would be better for all of us. But they're not doing that at the moment.
Right.
So right now it's curated, and they're only taking applications.
Okay. So I mean, there's potential for growth in the future, and they may be watching for campaigns like yours and other people who are putting their applications that are on there as well, and seeing what the growth rate is and seeing what the viewership is, and then seeing some ways to improve on that in the future, which is great because you always want to be able to increase what you've already got. And that's I can see it. That's definitely something they would probably want to look into, because there's way too much competition out there for platforms, especially with Kickstarter being one of the number one ones that's out there. It's hard to find something else to compete with that directly. It's probably going to take a little bit of time to do so, but you never know that you get over and get some other people to roll over with you, and you can get a lot more eyes on that. It might actually work out better in the long run in the future with you.
Yeah, and it can be more cost effective for creators, and I know a lot of
Yes.
creators that is one of the biggest things that they're concerned with. BackerKit's always been good for me for add-ons.
Mm-hmm.
Even since Kickstarter started providing add-ons, I still am able to get a lot more add-ons through that. So if they can start getting the eyes on the platform. It's cost effective to have it all in one place because they don't upcharge you for the surveys. That it's all part of the same cost.
Exactly. And let me see. Brian Silverback's just put on here. Is it known the total number of users on the platforms?
The thing is, they have access to everyone who's filled out a BackerKit survey, which my understanding is it's roughly 60% of Kickstarters use BackerKit.
Mm-hmm.
But it's how they use those those users. So
Right.
they have sent out, I think they sent out an email letting them know that the campaign was live, but how many people are looking at those emails, things like that.
Okay. That'll work. Now, going from, from canceled, we're going to go to something that gives us a little more spirit into what we're doing. We're going to go into holiday spirits and kind of discuss a little bit about this one. This is an anthology that's on here, and this is part 2. If you missed part 1 is available on this one as well. But it, as I understand, it has nothing to do with part 2, correct? It's all one story, it doesn't matter. It doesn't actually tie in together, or how does that work?
I wouldn't say they don't tie in together, but you don't need one for the other. They
Okay,
do,
that's what I was trying to say.
yeah, they do tie in together because one of the staples of Orange Cone is we do serialized storytelling.
Yes.
So even in our anthologies, there is a beginning, middle, and end. That's something we like to do. So we did have a character that was in 1 that came back for 2, but they don't really reference each other per se. They just, if you know that character's from the other one, then you get something special. If you don't, that's okay. You just enjoy the character for what it is.
And this one has, for issue 2, actually has, I believe it's 10 stories are in there, correct?
Correct.
Yep.
Currently, yep.
Okay, so with 10 stories in there, and that's 10 different creators that's available doing this. So all that different perspective that's involved in this, I mean, you're no stranger to doing some anthologies, but I like asking people that are working on these, how do you run the circus on this one? I mean, if you're the ringleader, on this thing, and you're trying to get everything in order, with anthologies is very difficult trying to make sure that this person is on point with this, and so on and so forth, because it's almost like having 10 different comics coming together in smaller form.
That's the guy you asked that. He puts it together. Unlike a normal Orange Cone, it's actually Jerome. This is Jerome's baby. This is Jerome's project.
Yeah.
I do have a creator credit on it, but it's Jerome who puts it all together, who set it up, who created the whole thing.
But
Awesome.
I think Phil, you used the right word. There, Travis is kind of, he's sort of the ringleader because he's the one who's writing the story at the beginning of the book and the one that ties in all the stories together. But I send the invitations. I pick up the teams that that I want to have in the book, and after that, Travis goes through the stories. He reads them and he finds a way to make sense of to tie them all together and make sense of it. So that's the part that Travis does in this one, and of course he's running the campaign as well for to simplify things for me because I'm in Canada and shipping would be just a nightmare because most of our customers are in the US anyways. So shipping in Canada through Canada is already super costly. So shipping from Canada to US it would just be impossible to do.
What was that, David, that you were saying?
I asked if he was going to hand deliver the turkeys from Canada.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, but actually, that's what we send. We have a special price if we want to send turkeys through the mail because we do things differently here.
Is it true, Jerome, that Canadian Thanksgiving is just hatred for our Thanksgiving? Like you just gather around and be like, F those pilgrims hanging out and saying they could come here. If they would have just left, we would have been fine.
Well, Thanksgiving is not as much celebrated up here as it is in well, actually, depends in the center west of the country. It is more celebrated because they're more following the U.S. traditions, but our Thanksgiving is a month earlier. So,
Okay.
but I have friends. I have American friends who now lives in Montreal over here, and they're super happy because they're celebrating twice. So twice as much turkey.
All right.
I think that's the way to do it.
Now, Jerome, I think one of the reasons that I kind of assumed, and I apologize for that, that I thought that, Travis was doing this and everything, is because honestly, I see most every book that's out there nowadays has Jerome's name written. It's on there. Letterer. I mean, it's just on there every single time. And it's like, okay, I know you're working severely over there. So I was like, you don't have time to do this. But then and again, I'm starting to see Travis's name on a bunch more stuff. I'm starting to see Matt's name on a bunch more stuff. And Matt's even putting stuff on there that he's out there dealing with his soccer thing. Whenever it's 20 degrees out, you're not even supposed to be out there on the soccer field. I don't know what's wrong with y'all people, by the way.
I feel you, man. I picked up some. I'm under the weather right now, man. I reffed in some miserable weather the last few days, and it caught up to me. So yeah, that's why I'm over here following Travis's lead, and I'm just kind of chilling out, letting David be the life of the party right now. All on you, David.
Normally I have to take like 4 energy drinks and all that before I get on here because I'm like, oh man, I got Travis. Oh man, I got Matt too. I got to keep up with these guys. They're wired. And then I come up here tonight and I'm all jacked up on all this caffeine, and y'all are going, all right, we're just slow. And I'm like, okay, I got to shut up just a little bit and let y'all talk.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm pretty sure I could fall asleep. There was a second there, I was just like, I'm not ready.
Travis, I am not going to put that on my highlight reel whenever we say, for a second there, I could have fallen asleep. I don't want that on my highlight reel.
I think it's good. It's just well placed. You just got to figure out what you're going to put after it. That's what's important.
Put it after like one of the most insane, like energizing segments. And Travis, well, I could have just fallen asleep.
No, but that was why I came up with that book, because I had the feeling that we weren't doing enough work. There wasn't enough books that we were putting out, so I just don't want Travis to sleep.
Right.
That'll definitely do it. Now we've got.
Hold on, I got to reply to that.
Go ahead.
Just to give you an example of our busy life, I messaged someone today and I was like, all right, I know you need the script to start it on the 20th on December 1st. I will give you at least 10 pages. And the guy replied, it's best if you give us the whole script. It's like, I am fully aware from that, good sir. I am fully aware that is the best way to do this. But I'm going to give you what I'm going to give you. Doing my best here.
And you should have told him, go on, and I'm going to just give you 6.
You keep it up, sir.
You'll get 6, and you need to expend it 10.
But I mean, y'all are incredibly busy with all kinds of things that are going on. I always see all of y'all that are up here, working on all kinds of projects and keeping going. And Holiday Spirits, we're up, we've got through number 1. This is number 2 going right now. Do we have aspirations to keep this going every year with Holiday Spirits and just keep it, once a year coming out, or what are we looking at with this?
There's a third one coming up next year. That's for sure.
Okay.
There are some other ideas for different shorter spin-offs. Not sure exactly how we're gonna do them, if they're gonna happen, so that's still in the air. But volume 3 is sure happening. After that, I don't know if there will be a volume 4 but I'm in my mind, I'm preparing volume 3 like it's the last one in case it doesn't work after that. But I'm trying to pull up the biggest name I can think and I can get. So, and I want the book to be a much bigger book as well.
So David said yes. David's the biggest guy I know in comics, so I mean that's as high as I got.
There you go. No pressure or anything.
Is this an exclusive?
You did say yes.
I did. I said yes.
Right.
See, now it's on the internet, so it's got to be true. So I mean, you can't take that back now.
kind
But
of
yeah, for in each volume, the something that I wanted to say is for each volume, I'm picking up different themes. So I want to to keep it fresh and have as many creators as possible. We've been lucky enough to work and contribute with tons of different creators over the past years, and I want to continue to have projects with them and meet some others along the way as well. So
Yeah, they're definitely keeping you busy. I know for sure. I don't think that there's any chance that they're going to have a book comes out that they don't reach out to you and say, "All right, go ahead and slap your name on here. We know you're working with us on this one," because it just happens. I mean, it's like you have a team that you've already put together that everybody rolls together. Even though there's new titles that come out, the continuity is there within the team, and I like seeing that because it's something consistent that you can see in the writing that goes along on each of the different books that y'all do together. We've got let me see. I wanted to show real quick because we were talking about fulfillment and your background and things with this. I just want to show up here real quick because this is accolades right here to show that there are things that are being done on a regular basis, and not one of these items has yet to be fulfilled completely, with the exception. All of those are done, aren't they, Travis?
Oh yeah, we're 100% done. There's a couple of stagnant, a couple of Voodoo, a couple of Cthulhu because of international stuff.
Right.
But yes, for the most part, what save for like 20 books total, that all those are fulfilled. And we just started finishing up the next Granite State Punk, which is already getting ready to go to the printer and all that and doing stuff. Yeah, so we're gonna clock out at 6 Kickstarters this year. So it's ridiculous.
Nice. Now, I've got to ask the question because I like to ask the creators and just kind of go through this one. This is one of the questions: is how important is 100% fulfillment and completion of the project to you as creators and moving forward to new projects that are out there? I want to go ahead and start off. I'm going to start off with David on this question. How important is it to you to make sure that everything is complete on fulfillment before you move on to your next project to make sure that the backers are, completely satisfied with everything?
I mean, it's really important, like especially when you're serializing something. So if I'm doing Jessamy was 3 issues. I wanted to launch 3, but I wasn't going to do it until it was almost all the way fulfilled. Now we did some CGC books with that, and you may know that CGC is like 9 months behind on everything. So I did go ahead and launch without them being fully fulfilled, but made everyone aware, they're coming, they've been submitted. This launching canceled without Jessamy fulfilled was the first time I'd done that. I do think I've built up enough of a goodwill and a history of fulfillment that people aren't going to be concerned that I'm going to be, I'm going to switch to canceled and I'm just going to forget about fulfilling Jessamy because it's, there's a history. I always fulfill my things. And if we have issues, if someone doesn't get it and they reach out to me, I'll just send them another copy. We'll make sure everyone's happy and everyone's taken care of.
Mm-hmm. Same thing to you. I'm going to ask you, Matt, because in Symmetry, I know y'all deal with a lot of fulfillment on y'all's end whenever you have campaigns that finish up and all. How important is it to you to make sure that everything is fulfilled and everybody's taken care of?
Well, up until the Heirs of Isilda versus Tales from Nocturnia campaign that had the vinyl album in there,
yeah,
we were always on time or early with everything. And then, like David said, where CGC is so far behind, the vinyl world is absolutely asinine with how ridiculously out it is. And we knew when we set that campaign up, we were going to put 2 different release dates on there, one for everything but the vinyl and the one for the vinyl. And the vinyl was like 5 months late from that date, which was completely insane. So as long as we were communicating to our backers, hey, look, this is what's going on. We literally were like showing them the email communications from the vendor. We even told them the vendor. We didn't have a problem with going and launching the next campaign as long as it wasn't for, like, I think we launched Misfits Clubhouse while we were still waiting for those vinyls to come in. But yeah, we're definitely not going to be just launching stuff and then on a hope and a prayer, be like, oh, maybe this stuff will get fulfilled sometime. I mean, I think that's why people don't have a problem with going to Orange Cone on the stuff that they do too, because Travis has got such an insane number of books, but It's like he's like, hey, the campaign just finished last week. It's already at the printer tomorrow. I'm like, dude, that's insane. You don't even have the money in from the campaign yet, man.
Exactly. I mean, it's a week after, and he's showing, the back of his trunk and everything full of books that he went and picked up. And I'm like, wait a minute, it takes 2 weeks to get your money from Kickstarter. How'd that happen? Get a time machine over there. I swear, 88 miles an hour gets you everywhere.
It's tough. It's tough. Do you want me to answer, or do you want?
Oh yeah, please do. Yes.
No, sure. So for Orange Cone, we changed our policy this year, and we kind of broke it a little bit too. So we changed our policy that we would not launch the next Kickstarter until the digital of the one is from before. And the reason why that is, shipping delays have been crazy. So it's kind of hard to predict. If I sent something to a printer back in the day, I would get it back in 3 weeks. So I knew exactly everything going out. But now it's 2 weeks to 6 weeks. Like, it's really that, like, sometimes they're like, oh, we can get you those books like next week. Oh, awesome. And then the same person, like, let's say Matt and I shipped at the same time. It's really who was on top of that stack by minutes. Oh, Matt, I'm sorry. You sent it to me at 8:46. Travis sent me at 8:40. He's going to get his in 2 weeks. You're going to get yours in a month and a half. Like, it's really like that right now. It's ridiculously crazy. So we did a new policy where we'll send out the digital and go for the next one. And luckily, we've been able to fill for 30 days. We've hit all our deadlines. I think we were just shy on Pop Van Winkle by like a week. We did it in the beginning of we shipped out some in the beginning of November instead of October like we planned on. But everything else has been fine. We just broke that rule though, because normally we have the finished product for Granite State Punk. We could have shipped it before we did. I mean, we could have showed the digital before we did Holiday Spirits, but as many people know, Coins of Judas is a new book that I have coming out, and that needed to be done to print. And apparently my wife has another job and Jerome have another job, and I can't just make them do everything and not sleep. And I was just as shocked as anybody hearing that here. I was just as shocked to hear that. So we're a little behind on that, but for the most part, it's super important. So our new rule is we're going to get the digital out. And it's because, like Matt said, and like David said, we have a history of making sure, if you get the digital, we're good, right? You're going to get your product. The digital basically is good enough to say that we're going to get it. And with so many people backing digital, that's like 40% fulfilled these days. Back in the day, it was closer to 30 and 20, but now it's like 40% of your campaign, which I think is a sign of the economy. How many people are doing a digital versus physical copies. So yeah, that's what we're doing, but we'll be doing that probably moving forward, making sure that everybody gets at least their digital before we launch off to the next thing and move to big.
If I may, obviously we also wanted to take advantage of the Halloween crowd,
right?
To launch all of the spirits as well. So we want to keep that one closer as possible to Halloween, but make sure that we can deliver at least the digital before Christmas. So we had to adjust our window there.
Yeah, because y'all actually remember that, there's a holiday before Christmas. Actually, there's 2 holidays whenever you're looking at, because there's Halloween and then there's Thanksgiving, whereas the retail companies go ahead and think that we got to go ahead and start setting out Christmas stuff, the day before Halloween, which, yeah, I'm sorry, I'm on a little bit of a soapbox on that one, but yeah.
Yeah, I don't think Thanksgiving Spirits would be a high selling book there. They have to go straight to Holiday Spirits.
You never know. I mean, it would, it might be a something that would be foul going out at first, but
well, you've all seen the what's it called, the Tarantino and Rodriguez.
You're talking about the
Split movie.
I can't think of what it's called. The
Grindhouse.
Yeah, it was
Grindhouse. Yeah, that's it.
Grindhouse.
There was some fake trailers before the movie, and there was one with the Pilgrims at Pilgrim's Slasher at Thanksgiving. That was pretty cool.
Yeah.
I'd watch that in a heartbeat. It was Eli Roth too. I'm super excited.
Now, how do you this is for you, Jerome, that with the anthology and everything, how do you take in all of these people who are putting in, ideas for, whatever we want to do for stories going into these. How are you going ahead and knocking that down to the level that you need, the amount that you want on there? How are you picking and choosing the ones that you want to go through on there? Is there certain criteria that they have to put on there, and then you just put it into a list and figure out, which one comes out best, or how are you doing that?
No, I just picked the right people, I guess. No, I mean, I'm not a writer. I'm not an editor. I'm a letterer and designer. That's what I do best. But I, when I had this idea, I thought that there was something that it was a cool sandbox to play in, and I sent a few messages to a couple of the writers that I enjoy working with, and that I feel that are very talented, and it just came in. And I know that they're much better than me at telling a story. So don't want to give them guidelines or stuff like that, because they're gonna do a better job anyway. So
Well, and Phil, I think another answer to your question here is too. There's a big difference between, say, like the Cthulhu Invades anthologies and Holiday Spirits.
Yes.
On Cthulhu Invades, Travis is not just very hands-on. He's got a framework. This is the story that I want to tell, and here are the characters. Now you guys have to figure out, give me a pitch about this character, and I see if I want it, kind of thing. So Travis is making sure that there is a good thread and a good framework across it. On Holiday Spirits, Jerome, he reached out to Steph and I, was like, hey, I'd like you to be in the anthology and let us kind of, he said, other than Krampus, because everybody's going to want Krampus, just come up with a story and then let me know what you think. And we batted around probably 3 or 4 different ideas. And, Steph is really into the horror culture scene, and she had a whole bunch of them. And I had thrown a couple in as well. And we went with one of her basic ideas as the basis. And, Jerome thought it was cool. And he's like, hey, do you guys have an artist yet? We're like, we haven't found yet. He's like, I got a guy that I think would be good for this story for you. So Jerome was really hands-on in finding the team to work with the story. Travis is more hands-on in making sure that the team fits the story that he's trying to tell.
Okay. Yeah, definitely. Because there's a lot of moving parts that are involved with anthologies. I mean, people just don't understand, they go grab this thing up or back it or go pick it up at a comic book store or wherever they find them, and they think it's great, cool pictures, good story. They're like, this is awesome. Oh, look, they got these people to work together. And they just really don't see exactly all of the hard work that goes into doing something like this, because it's not just falling directly into place all the times. There's a lot of, okay, this is the direction we want to go. Okay, change this up just a little bit. Okay, this is a good story with this one, but can you tweak it this way to fit into this story right behind it or before, coming after it, that type of thing. There's different things that are involved in there, and people kind of see that a lot more whenever they start hearing about the process leading up to it. And the fact that this is not something where Jerome actually writes out the entire thing, hands it off and says, give me your perspective on this story. Give me your perspective on this story. He actually kind of sends it off and says, okay, Matt and Steph, let's see what you can do. This is the story that we want to kind of see on there. What are your ideas? You give them ideas. And I'm sure from there it kind of went to, I like this idea. Can we do this? And then maybe a little tweak on there or something. Or is it just full on, loose the reins and let y'all have at it?
For this one, it was Jerome pretty much loosed the reins. And once we gave him back the story pitch and he thought it was good, they went from there. It was our concept completely. And, it was just Jerome's approval on that, which was kind of neat to be able to see 2 different approaches to Orange Cone anthologies. That way it wasn't always going to be the same thing. So it's kind of neat having the 2 different frameworks, kind of completely apples and oranges. Both were totally cool. Both were totally fun to work within, but very different in and of themselves.
Okay. Very cool.
yeah, and because, like Matt said, those can be very different to work with. We can be loose on Holiday Spirit, and the thing is, I know everyone is super busy. Everyone has their own books, their own campaigns going on, and their own stuff. So I don't want to be to piss anybody off as well, and saying, okay, please adjust that, change that line. They're doing a great job, and the book, the result is super fun. There's very, very lots of great stories in there, and they're all great creators, and they know what they're doing.
Awesome. Now, David, I'm going to ask you, as far as working on your stuff and everything over there. Do you have a regular crew that you like to go ahead and have on your books that you take with you, or do you try to shake it up a little bit on each of your creations?
Well, I haven't really done any anthologies, so typically, I know Jerome is a great letterer, but I do use my buddy Joel Rodriguez on every project because he's threatened my life if I use anyone else. No, he's also very good, but we used to actually work together in day job as well, so we would work on comic stuff while at the plant. So otherwise, artists, I switch it up from every project because I base the art based on what the project is. And then as far as covers, I do like to use a lot of the same people, but I do want to mix it up as well because I don't want that to get stale. So you typically won't see the same artist on back-to-back campaigns unless it's like Freddie doing the covers for Canceled, because I have him do the regular cover.
Right.
So I'm more of a mix it up. But if I was doing anthologies, I would probably be ringing up the same crew for most of them, because there's some, you like the familiarity and you know what you're going to get. You especially when you have so many things to rope together at once.
Right.
You want to have some certainty there. So,
and that does definitely make sense that you do.
Luckily,
I'm sorry, you were lagging. What was that?
Travis keeps coming back to me I'm bad.
What was that? You broke up. I want to hear what you said.
Which thing? Where did you lose me?
Travis keeps coming back to me, but I didn't hear the context of me coming back to you.
Oh, and I appreciate that on the Cthulhu project, and I hope to work with. Going to try to work with Jerome on Holiday Spirits, and hopefully that'll be a continuous thing. So it's good to get into. I like working with the same crews because, like I said, you know what you're getting out of it.
Never mind. I thought you were inviting me to something cool that you were planning that I didn't know about. Never mind.
I don't have time to do an anthology.
I'm uninterested now. Continue, Phil. I apologize.
We actually had Travis all the way up in the camera, like, what was that?
I was excited. I was like, what? Need to write some vampires. I'm super excited. But now, still vampire. I won't, because I love David so much, I won't touch vampires, which sucks because I'm really good at telling stories about vampires. I did it for years in the World of Darkness. Anybody who knows my origins, like I did LARPs for years. So werewolves and vampires, I know how to tell a werewolf and vampire story like the back of my hand. But because I have good friends like Ron Maltari and Dave Barrett, I won't touch either of them as a main character in a book. I may use them as
Didn't you write a vampire story?
What's up?
Didn't you write a vampire story for someone else?
Damn, he called you out.
Yeah. Well, yeah, but I was paid for that, and I mean, is it coming out? Like, it's been a long time since I wrote that. I think I wrote it in 2019. But yes, I did.
Oh, I have no idea.
Past Travis is wrong. I like to use that as a thing. Past Travis is wrong. Current Travis is right.
I mean, that had Travis all kinds of worked up. He was like, no, that's okay, because I did this, but it was in the past. It's okay. That was my past.
Exactly. You can't judge me for my past. It happened, in my past,
Called him straight out on that one. That was great. But I mean, that's what's cool about being able to work with people that you actually have fun with and respect, is because you can say things like that and there's no chairs thrown on the show. That's great. If you don't like somebody or you don't respect them, that's whenever it's like, okay, screw this. And everybody's fist fighting at that time. But y'all have a lot of fun with this, and you can definitely see the camaraderie that is shown with everyone that works with everyone on these projects. And it's really cool to see how these things are evolving and coming out. I mean, just to kind of point out some things, I've backed everybody's stuff that's on here actually tonight because I enjoy the content so much. But also, when we were talking about fulfillment and all, one thing that I wanted to bring up on there is that whenever we're in the process of getting things on there, that's why I said Travis will put a video up that's got things, showing his trunk is full with all these books and everything. And I'm excited about that. but he'll still send out emails saying, this is happening, be expecting this. It's not, here's the next book, get excited about this. It's like, okay, I can talk about the next project once this one's done. You know, I really want to talk about the next project, but once this one's done. He's always got that priority set up on there. The same thing with Matt. Whenever Matt and Steph are working on things within Symmetry and you're getting those things fulfilled, you never have to worry about where things are because they will keep you up to date with everything. If it's stuck at the port for whatever reason, they'll let you know, and they are apologetic about it as well, going ahead and letting everybody know that there's a problem with that. And I just had, okay, this is like I'm having a Matrix moment here because we have David and David. There we go. But I mean, it's all right, let me see. Okay, cool. We got you back. But the cool thing is that they let you know and they keep you in the loop with everything, because communication is definitely key whenever you're dealing with this and wanting people to come back and back your stuff over and over and create that return backer. My next question would be, and this is kind of the final question leading into the end, the closing of the show and everything, but how are you reaching out and getting to new potential backers as opposed to just the ones who keep coming back on this? Like, is there a certain way or a certain thing that you're looking at that you want to change up or that you found that works to get new potential backers to come on? And how is that working out? And we'll start out with you, David, on this one, if you're still there.
How
Oh, you're lagging.
You're a
is my
robot.
connection?
There is a moth that landed on your wire outside and has got your connection all kinds of in a hook, mess up there. Hang on, he's going to do it. Here.
He just messaged me and said he doesn't think he can make this work. So I don't know if you want to go to Matt and let him keep playing with it.
Okay. Matt, yeah, you go ahead. Go with the same question on that, and we'll see if David can return back, and we'll get back to him if we can. But go ahead and let us know how you're reaching out to potential new backers that are out there.
Oh, so potential new backers. I think that I think you just can't be complacent and say, "Oh, I had we had X backers on the last issue, so if we just go market to those guys, we're going to get them back." I think Travis has seen it happen many times where you're like, you run a campaign, you're like, "Hey, I've got more backers," but like half of the backers from the last campaign didn't come back, and it's like a lot of times it's more new backers. Like, we had just as many people that did catch-up tiers this time, people getting 1 and 2 of Perilous Prospects or digitals, or even going back farther into our book list. And so you can't never just count on the list you have. It's looking at shows, making sure you're getting email lists, looking at the genre that the story's in, because the genre is going to make a big difference. I mean, we do steampunk shows. I know that I do a lot of emceeing at horror cons, which I was like, when Jerome asked us to do Holiday Spirits, I'm like, man, that's great. Once these books come in, I think it's going to be an obvious crowd that's going to be looking forward to that. But it's really making sure that you go outside of Facebook and outside of just your own thread and try to find these groups of people that are into the culture. When we had Garbage Pail Kid homage covers, we actually, I'm a Garbage Pail Kid fan, went to Garbage Pail Kid groups and talked about my collection, but also talked about what I was doing, and we got some pretty big backers just from being involved in that community as well.
Nice. Jerome, what are you seeing on your end, with the projects that you're working on and everything? How are you reaching out and getting some new backers to show some eyes and show some attention to what's going on with the projects you got going?
That's a good question. Well, basically what I do, I keep sharing the campaigns I'm working on Twitter and on Facebook as well, but mostly on Twitter. I don't know if it's gonna be a thing anymore, but from up until now it was there. I'm using some Facebook ads for Holiday Spirits as well, because we need to raise as much money as possible to make it happen. But I'm not entirely sure what works best. If sometimes it's weird, you post you post on Twitter and you see there's two backers that just dropped. So is it something? Is it a coincidence or I don't know. But I think that that what works well, what works best is what Travis does with the campaign updates. Uh, so yeah, I think that's the part that works the best for getting the backers back in.
Okay.
I think another thing too is that, and I know this is going to sound odd just to kind of bank off of what Jerome just said. You have to pay attention to the trends. What worked for you on your last campaign is probably not going to work for you now, because if it worked for you, 50 other people also know that that thing worked, and they're going to be doing
True.
the same thing, and they're going to
Yeah.
be promoting the same way. I know that it used to be where you wanted to go up and just hammer every comic group that you could on Facebook when
Right.
you put a campaign out. I can tell you that we barely posted to any comic Facebook group this time, just because you see other people doing it and it gets so annoying, because you're like, dude, you realize that you can't go up there and just go spam 50 different groups and think that you're going to get backers off it. All you're doing is pissing off potential backers, because most of us are in those groups, and it's like, dude, stop. So you have to like look at the trends that are out there as well and be like, hey, that worked for me before, but if I use it, it might be to my detriment. Like Charlie Stickney said that one of his things that he does is he never puts out a campaign update to his current campaign in the last couple of days.
Yeah.
And he's like, because whenever I do it, it's just the signal to tell people, oh, remember to go cancel your pledge.
Yeah.
Sending it out on Backer Kit launch or something like that to people that didn't back the campaign is huge, but hammering your own campaign with it sometimes seems to be detrimental. I don't know if you've seen the same thing happen or not, Travis.
I don't know what I'm doing. I just wing it. Just hope for the best. No, it's hard, and it's even hard too. Like when you have a publishing company, because somehow I got a publishing company. I didn't mean to. I don't want to be a publisher. I keep telling people that. No one seems to give a shit. But when you're doing, a pup book, right? You've got puppies, and you've got Wonderland horror, and you've got Granite State. I'm trying to grab what I got here. I got Dog Days. I didn't do that. Send it out, but you got all these different titles and different genres and different fields that are pulling you, and you're doing so many books, and people want to support all of you, but lots of other people have campaigns going at the same time. It's hard to figure out what's working, what's not. One of the things that I have found that's been working successfully that I've been doing lately is I've been going to Backer Kit and going to launch and sending an email through launch. Tends to get a good result. I tend to always make my money back and more. I have started doing it close to the end. I don't use it for the full month because I find that the more I use it, the less results it gets. But once or twice for the $100, you get your money back for the most part. So I think that that's a good, solid thing to use. And then like Jerome said, the best thing is always using your fan base to stand out to get that. But I'm hoping, this next year where we're going into the direct market, that we can bring some of those over. I know that David's had some success that on Stake. Hopefully Matt's had that on Misfits Clubhouse, have been able to bring some people over. I'm hoping that works for me. But I'm astute to paying attention to other people's campaigns. I've seen people who they cannot bring their fan base over. They do an amazing job in the direct market, but they can't do a Kickstarter to save their life. They can't bring them over. So trying to figure that out, whether or not that works, whether or not it doesn't, I don't know. And it's just, like Matt said, it's every campaign you got to do something a little bit different to try to figure it out. The biggest thing that I can tell you, though, is keep interest in the campaign and be willing to change your idea. Like today, we decided to do the Holiday Spirits Christmas in July. We had planned on not doing it till we fund, but we're struggling a little bit to get to that funding goal. So let's do it now and figure it out later what's going on. Last time we did Holiday Spirits, we got to funding goal. We immediately did a hardcover. People jumped on that. It really helped us boost up to the next level. So it's finding things to keep you interested in the campaign. So if you are going to do a campaign update in those last few days, like Matt talked about, it's really targeted. Like, you want to stay on this because of this, and this. You don't want to get. It's not going to be just hey, just to remind you, we have these add-ons or this and that. No, it's got to be like, we're giving you so much free stuff. You'd be stupid to quit. Cancel somebody else's pledge, not ours, right?
Right.
And one of the things we did too, that we had Jerome had said that we could do the PDF, the digital version of Holiday Spirits summer special in our campaign. And we normally don't send out digitals in our stuff until way later in the process. But we let people know, hey, look, once we get done with the 7-day grace period, we're going to send you guys Holiday Spirits summer special immediately. We promoted this probably 3 or 4 times during the Heirs of Isildur campaign, because we're like, maybe the best way to try and get some backers to come over would be that way. And we sent it out to people probably, I guess, a couple of days ago. It was a couple of days. What days? I don't even know. What day is today? Monday. So probably sent it out Friday. Because we're like, hey, look, they're only going to have like 9 days left, 10 days left. You get this. So we're sending this out immediately. So you guys can hopefully get a chance to not miss out on this cool book that we're also in, because our fans are hopefully going to want to get all the stuff that we do. I saw a couple of people pick up that maybe they backed from our stuff, maybe they didn't, but you got to try whatever you can.
Sure.
David, while I got you on here, and hopefully you've got some good internet, we're going to go ahead and ask you the same thing. What are you looking at to get some new potential backers to come over to your stuff?
Typically what I do is talk to people at shows. We do events at comic shops, and then a lot of times I'll bring in new artists that I try to go for popular artists that tend to bring their own audience with them. And hopefully, even if they just come for the one campaign.
Oh, we're right there. We're right there.
At least he ended at a good spot, even if he doesn't continue,
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I understand there's internet issues. People have those and everything, and I have no problem with that. And David, if you're unable to return, you can hear me. I'll go ahead. I've got your link and everything. I can finish.
Yeah, no, he's gone.
Okay.
Great, but a lot of them tend to stick around because they just.
Yeah.
I like that there was a lag. It continued, and then it ends with him a thumbs up. That's fantastic.
Exactly.
Mwah, chef's kiss. Chef's kiss.
And I know it's frustrating with the internet stuff like that, and that happens with that. But I will say that I do have the link embedded in the feed. I do have the link that I'm going to show up on here shortly whenever we get to our actual end of this, which we're about to do. So get over there. I'm going to go ahead and do his actually real quick right now.
Yeah, and can I speak about it? Please back it. It's really good. It was the last book that he did publish over at Scout Comics / Black Caravan. I know it's super personal to him. He really likes the buzz. He's been pushing this book. He went to San Diego Comic-Con, New York Comic-Con, bringing out ash cans, printing it. It's really important to him, and I'm really so sad the backer hit doesn't work, because I've made fun of Zoop. I've made fun of other platforms, but at the end of the day, we really want anything new to succeed, anything that can help have us move over, because any well can dry, right? Mm-hmm. Any well can dry. And if you're not willing to try something else, you're not going to get to where you need to go. So I applaud him for trying Backer Kit. Yeah, I think he would have got way more success on Kickstarter, but it's good to know. And maybe he didn't, I think it's good that he didn't hurt his brand, and he's done everything strategic and everything right. And this is a good book. Canceled was such a fun book. Mm-hmm. Great Black Caravan book. It's an anthology style stuff. So if you hadn't picked that up, please do. It's really good. Sorry. It's good.
Oh, no, you're good. I mean, and I appreciate you going ahead and doing that. And that's very cool that you're able to speak on others' projects that are out there, because that's huge in the indie community, is actually treating it, again, as a community and not as, that's your project, that's my project. So sorry that you can't, take care of yours, but I'm going to take care of mine. You're definitely one of those. I mean, I know for a fact that Matt is, because I've had him on the show several times. I've had you on a few times, that you have no problem advocating for some other projects that are out there, just because you want to get that spotlight on the indies themselves and not on just one project at a time. So you fully understand the whole concept of, increasing that voice that's out there. And I really respect that, of you doing that.
Yeah, thank you. That's awesome.
Now, we're going to kind of go around the room on here, and we're going to go ahead and start doing this as a closeout on here. I'm going to go ahead and start with Krampus down here at the bottom. We're going to start with Matt. And I'm going to give you full screen on this one, and go ahead and let us know what you're working on, where they can find you. Go ahead and let them know about the Kickstarter, let them know about, future project that you may have coming up, things of that nature, and get them excited about why they need to get over there with In Symmetry and find out what's going on.
Hey, so once again, my name is Matt Knowles. I'm one half of InSymmetry Creations. Best place you can go is InSymmetryCreations.com, or you can go to tinyurl.com/InSym shop. That's INSYM shop. Right now, we're working on finishing up Heirs of Isildur, The Perilous Prospects, Book 2. Our campaign just finished up, I guess, 11 days ago. If you're just watching the show for the first time and you missed out and you're like, hey, apocalyptic sci-fi set in a steampunk world seems like a cool concept, I want to go check it out, and you missed the campaign, don't worry, we're not in the sales prevention business. We'll find a way to be able to get you signed up, get you added into the campaign on the back end, so we can get you some stuff. Working on, obviously, the script for that. We're working on the next Misfits Clubhouse book. We're working on Heirs of Isildur, The Perilous Prospects, Book 3. And we're working on a secret project that we can't say anything about right now that we're super, super stoked about. And really glad that we get to actually finally do something like this. But right now, first and foremost, we want you guys to get over to the project that Travis and Jerome are going to be talking about, which is Holiday Spirits, because it's got 199 backers right now. Somebody needs to be backer 200.
Yes.
And they're only like $1,200 away from funding. Get your boats over there. Get in on this anthology. Jerome's put a lot of work into this thing. You want this book, get in on it. That's where you want to go for now.
Yes, absolutely. Because I'm telling you right now, OCD is killing me right now on the 199. I got to get that 200. It has to happen. We'll make that happen. So, Jerome, I'm going to give you full screen on this one and go ahead and let us know. I mean, I could sit up here and say, tell us what books you've worked on, but I don't have that long of a show to go through. So just let us know, talk about your current project that's on here, and talk about, some other things you'll be working on, and let us know who you are that, you're working on these things.
Okay, so my name is Jerome. I'm lettering books mainly for Orange Cone Productions. So right now, my main focus is finishing up Coins of Judas, Grand Estate Punk, and Holiday Spirits. That's the three books that I'm focusing on right now. But the main reason we're right now is to get the funding for Holiday Spirits. The link is at the bottom right there. We got around 20 creators on this book with doing 10 stories, all great stories. We have those creators are from everywhere, from Zenoscope, SourcePoint Press, Aftershock, Scout Comics, Red 5, Marcosia, Mad Cave, Benzo Bar, Dynamite, Image. We got people from all the indie publishers in this book, so there's serious people, serious talents in there. So yeah, get to it, get us that last backer, that backer we need to get to 200, and we need that backer to unlock another free comic book for each of you to enjoy, and after that, the next step is the funding. So thanks.
Awesome. I mean, and everybody does need to get over there, check this thing out. It's got a lot of talent that's involved in this thing. We've talked about that throughout the show, talked about what's been going on here, putting the passion into that. And I'm going to go ahead and give Travis full screen on this one to let us know. He's going to let us know why we need to go over there and hit this thing right now, and what's coming up with Orange Cone. Again, it's just kind of like with Jerome. You can't give us the full list because we don't have enough time for that, because I know you're a little busy over the next year or so.
Yeah, you're not kidding on the busy thing. I think we have I think there's 12 books in production for next year. So it is absolutely insane. But let's finish up this year, 2022, Holiday Spirits Volume 2. Have a little bit more to get it funded. We need your help to get there. We've got some of the best, like Jerome said. We've got Mad Cave creators. We've got Matt and Steph. We've got all sorts of different people. Brian Hawkins, who's doing stuff over at Aftershock. We have some amazing people, so we want you to be part of that. Also, if you're in the direct marketing of comics, we have Coins of Judas that is in Diamond right now, issue 1 and 2. Please go to your local LCS. See if you can get us there. We really want you to get there, get all that stuff taken care of, be part of that process. As we start building our stuff and our brand for next year, we need your help on this to wrap up our year solid. So please go on in and take care of that and get us to 200 backers. That'll Here's the good thing. If you can see I'm tired. Everyone knows I'm tired who knows my energy. My energy's low. If you get me to one more backer, I'm going to have to stay up just a little bit longer to do that update, make a graphic, and do a whole bunch of stuff. So if you want to torture me, which I'm sure some of you don't do, now is the time. Go ahead and keep me up for at least another half hour.
There you go. You heard him. If you want to torture him just a little bit, go ahead and get one more backer on there, and he's got to stay up and take care of all this. But I can tell you right now, he says torture, but he's going to be having a grin on his face the whole time, half asleep, taking care of this. And Jerome as well is going to have a big old grin whenever that happens, torturing him as well with that. But
if I may, I forgot to mention something really
right
important. We have retail packages for all the stores out there. We have packages for, I think, Travis, it's 5, 10, or 25 copies that the stores can buy.
Yep.
That is awesome. I mean, that's definitely some stores that are out there that'll be watching this, that if you're interested, that is a product that you want to have in there, because it's like having so many comics in one all together, with all the talent that's involved in there, and they put some gorgeous books out there. And I got to say this right now, that Dr. Seuss homage cover is awesome. That's on there on number 2.
Yeah, no, that cover's really, really good. We love it. We actually, if you are store and you're watching this, we actually have an exclusive that we have a red version of that we're willing to give to somebody at the 25 pledge mark. Awesome.
Well, guys, I certainly appreciate y'all being on here and talking about what all y'all have going on, with your campaigns and all. I'm sorry that David wasn't able to stay here, but at least he was able to stay throughout most of this. And I'm glad that Travis was able to talk on his behalf about his project, because it definitely deserves the attention out there with it as well, because it does seem like a great series that's on there. And we definitely need to see if we can get that thing pushed on BackerKit. It's not that far off. I mean, he's got 10 days left. It's doable. I mean, I've definitely seen pushes on this happen. It's just a matter of getting people to sway over that direction. I mean, everybody goes to Kickstarter and does a search. This is not on Kickstarter. This is on BackerKit. The link is actually on there, which is canceled.com, and it is embedded in the feed, so it's very easy to find. But on top of that, of course, they have Holiday Spirits, which is fun, lighthearted. It's sarcastic at times. There's different levels of all kinds of emotion that's involved in these stories that are on there. And it's really awesome to see how they kind of tie into an overall theme of a darker side of looking at the holidays, I guess, is the way you'd put that. I don't know exactly how else to kind of sum that up, but it kind of works from what I'm seeing as far as outside as a reader. But I thank y'all for being here, and I'm definitely looking forward to seeing what y'all have coming up in the future with everything you've got working on. Jerome, definitely don't stop what you're doing with this. This is an awesome project to be working on. And I can see where you're going to have a lot more people who are going to get involved in this as it goes along. It's going to become a staple. People are going to put away, Twas the Night Before Christmas and start reading this, before, on Christmas Eve to their kids. No, you won't do that. Not to the kids, but to everyone else you will. But it's awesome.
If you want to, it doesn't bother us. If you want to read this.
Yeah. They just won't accept the therapy session bills. I'm telling you that right now.
Well, actually, I was at a con this summer, and I showed the one of the covers. Actually, it was cover A from that campaign to another artist over there. And you see on the cover A, there's Santa. There's a skeleton Santa with a bag of bones of bodies on his bag, and he showed it to his daughter, like his 5-year-old daughter or something like that. And she looked back at him with this face, she was like, what the hell is that? You can do this to Santa. She was pissed.
See, and that's sad, because Tim Allen killed Santa Claus and nobody seems to get mad at him.
Yeah,
there you go.
Yeah, but I destroyed Santa for that kid.
I mean, I don't remember Tim Allen walking around with the bones over his back, though. I mean, that was just I think that was kind of the over the moment there. But guys, I certainly appreciate it. I hope y'all are having a great holiday season with everything that's going on. Matt, I hope you get feeling better pretty soon. I know you were dealing, with being under the weather, because going out there on the soccer field and having to deal with that and the temperatures that I'm looking at going, no, we would cancel the game on that one. That's just too cold. And yet you're out there just announcing away and having a blast with it.
Gotta do what you gotta do, man.
Hey, I hear you. And Travis, again, thank you for doing everything that you do within the community and all, and coming on and agreeing to still stay on here tonight to do the show, even though you are tired. You still went ahead and stuck it out and had a great time kind of getting people to know a little bit more about who you are and what you're working on and all. And Jerome, it was an honor to have you on here. I haven't had you on as a guest yet. I hope you're okay with this. I hope we didn't scare you away too much from coming back on the show in the future. Hope to have you back on for future projects as well to talk about some things. But guys, I certainly appreciate it. I hope you all have a great evening. I'm going to go ahead and drop y'all backstage while I do my closing statements. If y'all want to hang out, I'll be out there in a couple of minutes. But thank y'all very much.
Thanks, man.
Thanks a lot. See ya.
All right. So we had a hell of a show. We had a great guest lineup that was on here. David Byrne is apologetic about not being to finish up on here. Sent me a message and said that the mountains are messing with his internet and everything. He apologizes. No apologies necessary. I'm telling you right now, things happen. That's okay. Appreciate the time that you're able to spend with us on here to get to know you a little bit better. And we'll definitely work on getting you back on for a future show as well. Now, I always have a closing statement. Tonight's not going to be different. It's usually something that is based on what a guest said or something that was said on here that has something to do with the guest lineup and things that are happening. Tonight, the one thing that I'm kind of going with on this, I'm going to go with selfless. The reason I'm going with that word on here is twofold. Number one, whenever I brought up everyone on here and I took the moment to go ahead and let everybody know what Travis had gone through today with the turkeys and being able to give those out for the community and everything, that's selfless in itself right there. Whenever David had issues with this and was no longer able to be on here and his internet choked out on everything, and I was going to do the closeout for him on this, Travis stopped me and said, you know what? I know where to go with this. I'm going to go ahead and take this one and we're going to do this. It wasn't because he was wanting the spotlight. It was because he was wanting the spotlight for David. Again, selfless. The reason I'm bringing all this up is because I always try to bring up something that'll make it a little more positive in life in general, not just the industry itself, but in life. So sometimes if we take an idea and become a little more selfless with it, it actually kind of shines a little bit brighter than people think. Something to think about next time you have something that you're working on or something that someone else is working on more in particular. So hope you all enjoyed this. I am looking forward to the next time I'll be able to see you all on this. I won't have y'all back on another show until after I have eaten my fill of turkey and other things here and probably be comatose for a couple of days. And then I'll be back next Monday for another live show. Be looking forward to that. Until then, keep it indie, y'all.
Sockets, flip the switch and watch them run. Take it back, the crowd. I'm all dressed up and naked. I see what's mine and take it. Oh yeah, the crowd. So close I can taste it. I see what